Yo, what's happening, party people? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little transfer news and sort of Manchester United news, daily news rundown for you with all the latest goings on. Hope you're doing well today, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. A bunch of legends we've got in here. Let me know I'm coming through loud and clear because I've done something a little bit gash with the stream and messed some settings up. So smash a one in the live chat if I am actually coming through loud and clear. Let me know. Also, hello everyone who's in the chat there. Naz786, how you doing there, bro? Eyeball Paul's in here. Mr. Ringe, Andrew Hammond, Modell, J.A., Chrissy, Berber. Get in there, Robin, Johnny. Thank you, Berber. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting us know. Hope you're doing well tonight, guys. We've got plenty to get into. We're going to cover it all in this video. Do us a massive favour at the start of this show and smash that like button. Give it a big thumbs up. Share it around if you're that way inclined as well. And as always, get involved in the chat, guys, because we want to hear from you, your thoughts and opinions on any of the topics we're discussing. Have your say. Welcome in there, Abdullah Irwan, the Vootinator, Alex Duncan, Get Out Man City for Life, Philip Chapman, Hamid Kuma, and everyone else. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you all being here. So, looks like we've got a bit of a breaking story, a bit of a revelation, really, which is that there are reports coming out now from Spain that Manchester United have been negotiating with Villarreal for the past few weeks, and that things are approaching perhaps an offer from Manchester United. Things are getting more serious, and perhaps we will be looking at getting in perhaps Pau Torres from Villarreal, guys. So this is the latest news that's come out this evening from various couple of different sources over in Spain, and there's reports that Pau Torres' agent plans to travel to Manchester this week to negotiate with Manchester United over a potential contract for Pau Torres, which obviously would be great for us because we need something. We need as many centre-backs as we can get, if you ask me. And lots of reports say that Manchester United have been negotiating for several weeks now with Villarreal. So we have a report that says Villarreal want about 50 million euros and believe that United are prepared to pay that sort of a money, and everything sort of points to a deal happening in regards to Manchester United and Pau Torres, and the negotiations have been positive for the past couple of weeks. I mean, this is one of those scenarios where we've already had negotiations with Timber. Everything's fine there in regards to, wages and all that kind of thing. Like, that's just a formality, really. The clubs have to reach an agreement there. But I think we should get both of these guys in, guys. If we're talking about improving our team, well, I think it's pretty clear if you saw that performance yesterday or the day, whenever it was, about, I'm trying to forget about it, to be honest, but that performance from Manchester United against Palace, you think about how bad Victor Lindelof is at the back there and the amount of pure errors that he made. And you think about, how bad Slabby Maguire has been over the course of the season, and just as a leader and a captain for us is absolutely fantastic. So you think about those guys, and also Rafael Varane is an injury-prone man. We all know that Rafael Varane's got great qualities. You wouldn't have 4 Champions League medals and World Cup medal, if you didn't have really good quality. So I've got to say that he's a quality player, but you cannot rely on him for the course of a whole season to stay fit and actually be that stalwart in your team. He's just going to he's got paper mache knees, guys. He's going to crumble at some point. And so therefore you need more players in there. Now, we heard some comments by one Mr. Ten Hag, welcome in Ten Hag, hashtag ETH era in the live chat, but we heard some comments in regards to Harry Maguire earlier on from Erik Ten Hag, and he said basically along the lines of, let me get the actual quote up here really quickly, because he said some things that I didn't, I'm not really a big fan of sort of what he said, but look, it could just be a case of him being diplomatic in order to, just protect the value of Harry Maguire, and there's lots of things that are perhaps going to be going on behind the scenes, that make a lot of sense. But he basically said, he had a good, he's a good player, and it's going to be a new season next season, and all the rest of it. He basically showed some sort of support for Harry Maguire, which obviously doesn't make any sense at all because Harry Maguire's gash. And I'm sorry to say, but if he has watched any of Manchester United this season and he thinks that Harry Maguire's a good player, then my estimations of Ten Hag have gone right down. But I have to believe that that's not the case, guys. I have to believe that he's just not looking to come in during his first ever meeting with the press there. The press conference is unveiling with Manchester United and make the headline about Harry Maguire and make the headline about, you know what, he is shite. He is a big slab, and I'm going to be looking at addressing the centre-back area this summer. I guess he didn't want to do that. It's just about sort of like, being here in the best possible way at the start. And then what happens behind the scenes happens behind the scenes. So I personally don't think that there's a lot of, there's a guarantee that Erik ten Hag's like really looking forward to playing with Harry Maguire, that he thinks, hey, look, this guy's actually good. He has said he's a good player. I mean, he is a good player. We've always said this. He is a good player for England. He was a good player for Leicester. But he's not really been a good player for Manchester United. He had a better time under Ollie than he did, this season. This season was absolutely shocking. But the last season under Ollie and stuff, it was much better than it is this season. But this season is still awful. And last season wasn't good enough either. It was terrible. So in those terms, yeah, he's not good enough for Manchester United. I think Ten Hag just doesn't want to say that on his first ever unveiling with the press. That's my opinion on it. What he now does behind the scenes will tell us what Ten Hag's all about. It will tell us, is he going to be that man who's going to be stern, who's going to make those tough decisions, strip Slabby of the captaincy, maybe use him in the squad, strip him of the captaincy, or is he actually going to try and offload him in the summer? God, I hope so, guys. I mean, that's what he has to do. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, I hope we're linked with Timber, and we sign Timber in as our young 20-year-old centre-back as well, who can progress and get better and develop, and seems very, very good, athletic, quick, all the things that we want right now. But also, we could go and get Pau Torres too. You could get rid of Slabby Maguire. Maybe there'd be some idiotic manager out there who would think that he'd be good for them, and maybe he would be in the right sort of team, whether it's going back to Leicester or Newcastle or wherever it may be, one of these teams that have just maybe have some vague interest in Harry Maguire, then it would make sense to try and protect him at this moment in time, not say that he's absolutely awful, not say that you're looking to buy a new centre-back, but just quietly work on things behind the scenes, which is kind of what it seems to be the case is what's happening now. I mean, we can only hope that this Pau Torres link is true, but lots of reports coming out from Spain that, Manchester United have been negotiating with Pau Torres for a number of weeks now, and that we are, oops, that's the wrong one, and that we are looking to potentially get this guy in. So Villarreal, the situation as it stands, as we understand right now, is that they're prepared to take around about 50 million euros. It's a significant amount of money, but when you're talking about a player who's as good as a prospect, as good as a player now as he is, somebody that's had a really good season, somebody that is 24, I think he is, maybe 25, 24, Spain international, he's definitely somebody that is worth 50 million euros. We also have an update as well that suggests that Erik ten Hag really wants to sign Pau Torres at all costs. And we also have comments from Fabrizio Romano that says that, Pau Torres and Jurrien Timber, this is from a few days ago anyway, but Pau Torres and Jurrien Timber are two players in Manchester United's list. It's not close, still early stages, but that was from a week ago. So, you've had a little bit of time. There's another week another week's gone by, and new fresh reports are coming out. So we can only hope that this is true, because Pau Torres is a quality player. He is somebody that I would definitely rather see in there than the human fridge next season. Ten Hag's probably identified a couple of different problem areas for us based on our recent performances. He must have been watching in all the games, all the videos, and of course in person at Palace, we were fucking jank at the back, and he was shaking his head at times, and it looked like, oh my goodness me, he's got himself into a sticky situation here, which he needs to address. Now, if he wants to play a certain Erik ten Hag way, I think he needs people with a bit of pace at the back as well. I don't think Harry Maguire is necessarily the man to do the business there. Pau Torres isn't exactly quick, but he's a better reader of the game, and I think he's much better in the air as well. Harry Maguire is good in the air, but I think he's overrated in the air. Just because he's got a big head doesn't mean that he's great in the air. He kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. His jumping's not the best. He is a physical guy. He is, a big slab of concrete, a big human pillar out there. But other than that, he's kind of not the most physical. He's not quick. He can't turn. He's not, I don't think he's got great reading of the game. So he's not good enough. It's as simple as that, guy. I know Ten Hag said earlier on he's a good player and he's going to assess it as the new season. But even he surely cannot think Harry Maguire would work well in a system like Ajax have been playing, or even just based on what we've done this season. He's fucking terrible. Maybe he'll give him a chance. Let's ask the live chat, because there's lots of reports coming out that Torres and Timber are the two players that are going to potentially be coming to United this summer. They're both centre-backs. Well, that means if we're going to have a clear out of centre-backs, surely Slabby Maguire's got to make way. You can't have a fucking human slab on 180k a week as a backup. So let's see what you guys think. Let's have a vote in the live chat. Do you think that Erik ten Hag is going to give Harry Maguire a chance? Write the word chance in there if you think he will give him a chance. Or write the word sale. If you think he's going to try and sell the guy or sell, let me know if you think he's going to try and sell the guy, because reports coming out that, you know, this is a very high target for Eriksen. Pau Torres is of interest. We know Jurrien Timber is of interest. He said those comments earlier on, which would suggest that he's backing Harry Maguire and that he will give him a chance at Manchester United. But is this just cards close to the chest at the start of his Man United tenureship, where he's just come in, he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers right at the start and make the press conference of his unveiling about that Harry Maguire situation? I mean, let's see what you guys are saying. So, wow. Chance says Solskjaer. Chance says Amit Kumar. Sel says Batman Knight fan. Chance, unfortunately, says Rushy. A chance says Wrestle Kurt. Sel says James Burring. Sel says Alkin Mamu. Sel says Craig Irvdunk. Cruz. FIFA Don. J King. How you doing there, Solo? Good to see you in there, mate. How you doing, boss? Philip Chapman says Chance. Rico says Sel. Naz says Sel. Lambretta Daz says Sel. Okay, so it's a bit split. A lot of you guys are saying so. I would think if he was true to what he's sort of done at Ajax, and if he's watched this season at Manchester United, if he's watched the archive footage early on, he's obviously been doing his own thing before recently, but I'm sure for the last couple of months he's had a strong eye on what's been going on at Manchester United. So he must have seen how bad Harry Maguire's played for us. He must know that he fucking, you know, turns like a bloody caravan. He must know that he's got the pace of a bloody lemming and the football ability of one also. Suicidal, my friends. Jump off a cliff at times in defence, he does, because he makes a lot of errors, gives the ball away. So surely he would have to assess the situation as this guy is probably a little bit of a liability. Surely. I know he said that earlier, guys, but that would, he must just be trying to be as, have as chilled out an entrance as possible. I think, really, guys, you can see that 20 minutes in, he's like, right, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm gone. It was pretty quick. It was a pretty brief presser in that regard. There wasn't that many pressing questions asked either. That Maguire one probably being the most pressing, of which he dealt with it in arguably, some would say, a very diplomatic way. By the way, everybody, thank you so much for getting in here right now. Do us a favor. There's 171 legends of you in it. Do us a massive favor. Help us out by smashing that like button. Share it around, but do drop a little thumbs up on it. It's free to do so, and it helps us compete with the clickbait merchants and the corporation channels, etc. So if you like this channel, if you want to support the show, do drop a cheeky little like on it and hit the subscribe button. Get involved with the chat and let us know your thoughts and opinions about everything we're discussing. But thank you, guys. So that's the latest, really. We've got lots of news from Spain that Pau Torres is high on the target list for Ten Hag, and that United have been negotiating for the last several weeks. Let's hope that it's true. Let's hope that there is some real strong basis for this and the United want to get this going. I rate Pau Torres, okay, he's not maybe one of the elite defenders in world football yet, but maybe one day he could be. He's developed really well up until this point. The club he's at's got a limited ceiling, but they still overperformed this season and done well in Europe, etc. So he's got the experience that we need. He's an international for Spain. We need some top players in here. It's all well and good signing 20-year-old players. And actually, Jurrien Timber looks very, very exciting. He looks like he's got the physicality about him already. But it's going to be a bit of a baptism of fire coming in from the Eredivisie to the Premier League. And that's going to take an adaptation period. Now, it does make sense to maybe also get somebody who's got more experience and to try and sort of bolster those defensive positions. Nobody wants to start this season with Slabby Maguire at the back, really, guys. And if Ten Hag does, then he wants his head testing. But I don't think he really, truly does. You look at all the other centre-backs we got on our side. We've got too many guys. Twan Zabi, don't know what's going to go on with him. Maybe he could be a backup at best, but probably they may try and move him on. You've also got, of course, Bailly, who's maybe caused a few issues recently. He's not played a lot either. He's probably going to get sold. He's injury-prone himself. Can't imagine necessarily that he's high up on the list of players to stay. Maybe, though, if you look at actual defensive ability, Ten Hag might be interested in trying to work with Bailly, give him a chance, or at least have him in the squad. Lindelof's a great ball player, and, but he's shite one-on-one defending, so he could well be made way as well. He could be sold. And then Philip Jones. Philip Pink Boots Jones. We all know about him. Just get him out of the club now. I like Phil. He's a nice guy. He's got passion, all the rest of it. But he never plays, and he's just basically a parasite now. He's just sucking stuff out of this club. And he doesn't really put anything into it. It's time to sort of just like get rid of all these guys. If he doesn't want to go and play for another club, well, then you just terminate the deal. That's kind of the situation I'm at here now with this squad. We should try and look to sign new players, not just have hangers on, not just carry anyone around. So So I'd be very excited to see what Ten Hag's going to do in the defensive positions this summer. It seems like there's going to be maybe 1 or 2 outs at the least, I would hope. Phil Jones, Bailly may be a higher stop on that list, but I would like to think that maybe we could get rid of the slab. If you could get rid of Harry Maguire, that would just be brilliant, because let's face it, guys, he's not United captain quality. He's one of the worst. He is the worst United captain ever, in my opinion. So at the very least, Ten Hag needs to strip him of his captaincy and give the opportunities to somebody else. But if we can actually get the transfer fee for him, any sort of fee for him at all, 30 or 40 million pounds, then that would be brilliant and best spent elsewhere in the squad rather than sticking with a big tree of a man. So, yeah, Villarreal, it's also reported that Villarreal will not ask for Pau Torres' €65 million release clause to be paid by Manchester United, as they don't want to break negotiations over a 10 or 15 million euro difference. So this is what's being reported at the moment, that the negotiations are reasonably positive, and that Villarreal would probably accept up somewhere in the region of 50 million euros for him at this stage. He does seem to seemingly have a release clause of 65 million euros. So, the worst case scenario, if you really want to go get the man, I suppose you just have to pay that amount of money and go and get him. So very, very obtainable, guys. That's about 40 million quid. How obtainable is that? Very. He would be stepping up to Manchester United. Okay, Villarreal had a better season in Europe, etc. They're a good team. But at the same time, Man United's a bigger club. We've got a bigger potential, and it would be a big opportunity for Pau Torres as well to come in there and be one of the main men at the back for Manchester United. So I'm sure he'd be interested. I mean, I don't know that for sure. It depends. We don't have the Champions League football. We don't have that this season. It's a project, but he's young enough that, it's only going to be a season out of the top flight of Europe. So very exciting, guys. Let's have a little vote in the live chat. Would you like to take Pau Torres at Manchester United? Yes or no? Let us know your honest opinions. Because some may say, he's not good enough. Some may say he's not quick enough. Some may say all those sorts of things. But I personally think he's a good all-round defender. He's got a bit of heart and leadership and sort of character about him. Whenever he's played against us, he's always defended pretty much like a lion against us. So, I think he would be a good acquisition. And who are you comparing him to? Let's compare him to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's absolutely awful for Man United. Probably will continue to be the same. Don't see it changing just because the new manager's coming in. I think he's just an error-prone, slow defender. Okay, so very split in the live chat. No, says JR, fire up. Lambretta, rewind. Yes, says Chrissy. Vuti, Amit, Nas, and Enor. No, says T-Mill, Wackass, and Malps. It's James. Yes, says J King. Fair enough. Well, it's very split again in the live chat. I mean, who knows? Look, Varane's injury prone. Harry Maguire's shite. Eric Bailly's also got paper mache legs and may well want out of this club because he's just not been featured, not playing. Phil Jones is a pink boots mess and's never going to really play again. Twanzabi's just too old now. He's not good enough. He's got to like 24, 25. He's not a young player anymore. What is he? He's just a backup. He's not good enough. He's probably just, okay, if you want to use him as backup. He's gone as well. So a lot of these players are just not good enough in those centre-back positions. Varane is good enough, but he's an injury-prone guy. He's going to be out of your team a lot of the time, which means that you're going to be struggling to try and find consistency, which is why I think United do need to sign 2 quality centre-backs if we can. I mean, it's wishful thinking. It depends what our budget is, depends who we can get elsewhere. But yeah, if you can sell those few players we've just discussed there, Maguire included, I don't see why you wouldn't go and get 2 new centre-backs in, Jurrien Timber and Pau Torres. It would be so much more solid, I think, than what the shite we've got now. Sing Game says, I say no, but I forgot the question. Hey, no worries. I'd love to tell you what it was as well, but... Johnny says, I'd take Bassey from Rangers. The guy is a machine, says Johnny. Fair play, mate. I mean, there's some very impressive players over at Rangers. They've got a real great team. I mean, that Tavernier as well. There's some very good players. Berber, what's going on, says C. Not Eric Sangol. Get in there, Nut. He says, hell no. Okay. Buy Tyrone Mings, says WH. I mean, Tyrone Mings is decent, but I don't think really we should be going to get Tyrone Mings. I'm just being honest. I think we should. I mean, he's quick, he's physical, maybe for a Ten Hag system. But I mean, he's physical and big, so I don't really like him. He's quicker than Harry. But, that's not hard, is it, really? But, he's a lot quicker than Harry. Sing Games, thank you very much for joining us, by the way. Sing Games, one of the legends of the channel. Josh Lee says Pau Torres equals Spanish Maguire. You see, I knew a lot of people would make that comparison as well. He's tall. He's not the quickest. But actually, I think if you look at how he defends, he's much more of a full-blooded defender than Slabby Maguire, I think he is more of a leader. I think he does put his body more on the line. I think he is better in the air. I think he is better one-on-one defending. I think he does read the game better. From what I've seen, I mean, obviously I've watched a lot more of Harry Maguire than I have of Villarreal, but, because we've faced Villarreal a couple of times in the last couple of seasons, we have seen him ourselves close up, and with their run in the Champions League, we have seen quite a bit of Pau Torres this season. So personally think he would be a good signing, guys, alongside somebody like Timber. So that would be good. Mings no way, says Malps. Timo says Mings is meh. That's how I feel as well. Tamori, that's an interesting shout there, my friend. El Professor says it's not hard to look good in the Scottish League, says El Professor. True, but then what about doing it and getting to the Europa final? That is pretty impressive as well. Rushmano, thank you, mate. He says we got 57.4k subs. Come on! Sue! Thank you, everyone, for hitting that subscribe button. We are on 57.4k. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and hitting that sub up. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do. Drop the subscribe. We're on here every night and every day, giving you all the latest United news and stuff. So, yeah, nice one. That's awesome. 57.4k. Let's go. And that's right, Dante. How you doing, Dante, lad? He says Timber can play right back. Yes, versatile defender, can absolutely play right back for us. And you look at the problem areas we got, that's one of them, the right back position. Datlo's not a good enough defender. Wan-Bissaka's not good enough going forward. So, yeah, Timber could be used there as well. It's a really good shout. So, not only can you use him at centre-back, which is probably where he's, hopefully going to be played for us, I think, but absolutely right back as well. So, definitely. He's got the pace as well, so definitely makes a bit of sense to get something like that in. Timber is, I think, a formality. So the situation with Timber, guys, if you want an update on that, we'll just get into this. So the Timber situation really is, that we're sort of negotiating with Ajax at this moment in time. There's not really a problem with terms or, wages and things like that. It's just we're trying to agree a fee, essentially, with Ajax. And if it gets, if there's an agreement, of course, in place there between the two clubs, then it'll be done very, very quickly. So I think that'll probably be our first signing, in my humble opinion. When the window opens, that'll probably be the one that gets pushed through the quickest, just because there's not many stumbling blocks at all. He loves a bit of Ten Hag. Ten Hag loves Timber. They've just literally been working together all these years. He's developed him really well, given him a lot of opportunities, and I'm sure he's got a lot of love for Ten Hag. And of course, Man United's a massive club, and it's not really a bad thing when a huge club like like Manchester United come knocking. So also Timber posted actually on Instagram, and it was a video shared on his page actually. Sorry, he said with the caption, "My first Champions League campaign. How about that for a group stage? Fighting battles against the biggest in the world, we conquered the group together with all of you. We've had our setbacks, we've made mistakes, but we got back together. We stood up to become winners. We are Ajax, the best, crowned rightfully champions of the Netherlands. Family, friends, and fans, thanks for this amazing season. I've enjoyed it." So, he seems like he's got the right sort of passion, the right sort of bit about him, and he wants to reach the highest level. Obviously, as he said, that he's really enjoyed playing in his first Champions League campaign. He's got some Champions League experience, battling against some of the best teams around. They had a great group stage, of course. So, very positive, guys, Jurrien Timber. I mean, that doesn't necessarily state anything like, oh, I want to leave, but he's just shown his appreciation and the developments there to see. So, yeah, the Jurrien Timber would be a fantastic signing. That's the latest situation with Timber. It should probably go through pretty quickly as long as the two clubs can reach an agreement. In terms of fees and amounts of money, there's around about a sort of 30 million euro fee that's being bandied around. Some people think we could even get them as low as 20, but I don't think that to be the case. I mean, Man United have got to, of course, reward Ajax very, very well, or compensate them well to be able to get this guy in. Right, also, guys, okay, let's get into some of the stuff about Frankie de Jong. So there's a little bit more about Frankie de Jong, bit of an update on Frankie, just to give you the rundown. So it's reported that Paris Saint-Germain have got some sort of an interest in him now. As we discussed, there may well be big clubs interested in Frankie de Jong. Pep said some nice things in the past. They've got a key midfielder leaving them this window, etc. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the road is going to be clear for Man United to go and sign this guy. But we want him, don't we? Ten Hag's a big fan. Ten Hag would want him. Ten Hag's understood to be very, very keen on bringing him in. But it's just difficult if there's any agreement. It sounds like it's difficult if there's any agreement with any other clubs. If he wants to join a different club because they've got Champions League football and they've got big money that they can offer him, such as PSG, then it's obviously going to be a little bit difficult for Manchester United to try and get him in. But because of Erik Ten Hag, that could be the key factor to make the difference. So really, it's just at the same stages, apart from the fact that there's now other clubs that are sniffing around Frankie de Jong, particularly PSG, as reported. So there you go, guys. Not the best update on Frankie. PSG may be having some interest in there, so hopefully we can get this guy, because I think he would be a quality player for us. You look at the problem in that Crystal Palace game, what was evidently clear, it's just how shit McTominay and Fred are getting the ball off the back four and just playing it forward, like actually playmaking from deep. They're fucking awful. So anytime they got the ball back, they just couldn't sort of actually get us going with their play. They couldn't find that pass. They couldn't find a simple pass or a spraying long pass or anything. They just kept giving it to the opposition. I mean, they were so poor in that midfield at actually keeping on the ball. And it's no surprise, because as much as Fred is a good, tenacious sort of defender and runs around and has had his moments under Rangnick going forward and stuff, he's just not a good technical passer. And McTominay's much the same, in my opinion. They're not good enough. Whereas De Jong, something like Frankie, they've got that passing ability, they've got that ability to play make from deep. And that's what United need. If we could actually get the likes of, our wingers, Sancho, and get it to Ronaldo and actually get it up there, then we'd actually stand a chance. But the problem is, our plan at the moment, with what we've done recently, is just breaking down the midfield because we haven't got good enough midfielders. You get somebody more technical, somebody more gifted, better on the ball, more comfortable on the ball, shields it better, comfortable on it, and distributes it much better, then we will be just a much better team. So, I hope it happens, guys, but it's not looking the most likely out of these transfers we're discussing. There's a few different possibilities of players coming into United. Antony's another one we've discussed, a few different options, but definitely Frankie de Jong's one of those that is, if it happened, it would be a big turn up for the books, really, because there's so many ways it can fall down. Barcelona's still financially strapped, but Xavi obviously very, very keen on De Jong from all the things that he said recently, so I don't think he's desperate to get rid of him either. It would be a financial necessity if they sell him, based on maybe having to sign Lewandowski and other players. So not the most positive update. Hopefully it happens, but if it doesn't, then there's other midfielders for us to go and get. I think Ruben Neves would be a fantastic player. You saw some comments from him yesterday. He's basically hinted at the fact that, maybe he could look to move on. And Man United definitely should be looking to go and get somebody of that quality as well, with the Premier League experience. He's the right age also. If you can't get De Jong, then Ruben Neves makes a lot of sense to me. He is linked to other clubs as well abroad, Champions League clubs as well, which may mean that it falls down for Man United. So very, very much think that there's a multitude of players we could go for to improve our midfield. You saw Boubacar Kamara, the news that he has now signed on as a free agent with Aston Villa, and that's a good signing for them. Very disappointing news for me. He's a free player. We could have maybe picked up, just another squad player for free. I hope we're going to do a bit of business in the midfield and sign a couple of players, because just like the centre-back positions, like we discussed earlier, we got a lot of crap in the midfield. Paul Pogba's going, Matic is going, and then all we're basically going to be left with is McTominay, Fred. It's just disappointing. It's not good enough. Yeah, we can promote Jimmy Garner and give him an opportunity as a squad player, but is he going to be ready week in, week out for the rough and ready of the Prem? Remains to be seen. So we need to sign a couple of midfielders there. Somebody like Ruben Neves, something like Tielemans would be absolutely beautiful for me, guys. I mean, that's my preference, really. If we're talking about who can we go and get, I would love to sign a couple of players that have proven to do it in the Premier League and are a good standing and a good age and are only getting better and are ready for the step up to the next level. Those two players fit the bill. De Jong is a bit more of a luxury signing. Ruben Neves is robust. He's proven in the league. These sorts of guys would be fantastic, I think, but it depends on what Ten Hag wants to do and how he wants to play. Also, Barcelona, as I mentioned, have got some interest in Ruben Neves and also Martin Zubimendi, should Frankie de Jong leave this summer. So it could be a bit of musical chairs going on here. If they sign Lewandowski and they need to get some cash recouped, they need to redistribute throughout the rest of the squad maybe, then maybe they're willing to sell de Jong. And then if they sell de Jong, maybe they have to go and sign another midfielder somewhere else, a little bit of a cheaper option if they can, wages-wise possibly, or, fee-wise, and try and just generate and save a bit of cash there. This is something that they're going to have to do this summer, so it could be dependent on what they do. Unfortunately, we don't have Champions League football right now. We're a Europa League team. In the end, we're quite lucky to be a Europa League team, but we're a Europa League team. That's the reality of the situation. we don't hold all the cards anymore, Manchester United. So it's dependent on what other teams do for business as well as to what we do. Hey, Batty Norton, thank you for the super chat, mate. Get in there, Sue! Guys, can we all get a massive Sue in there for Matty Norton? Thank you, bro. He comments and says, Ten Hag needs to chuck Maguire in the bin pronto. Also, I agree, would love Ruben Neves at United to go with De Jong. Nice one, Matty Norton. Yeah, great shout, yeah. Well, and either or, any of those midfielders would be fantastic in my opinion, yeah. Definitely I would love De Jong, definitely would love Ruben Neves and Tielemans. I particularly like Ruben Neves and Tielemans because I think they're both the right age. They're both progressing really well. They're both ready to take a step up to a bigger club. We could be that club. And they've got actual proven experience in the Premier League, so they know what they're dealing with. We know they're effective. We know they're good. We know they can handle the rough and ready of the league. So those are all positives for me. So, yeah, absolutely agree. Thank you, Matt Norton. Thank you so much for getting in there with that super chat, mate. And like you say, chuck Maguire on the bin pronto. Hashtag slabby out to the bin. You're right about that because... Let's face it, he's proven to be not good enough. Hopefully Ten Hag's comments on that earlier on were just sort of, like we said, diplomacy. He doesn't really want to say that his captain or the captain currently at United, who maybe is an asset that we could try and sell, is crap. He doesn't want to say that. He wants to try and, protect that asset, which makes a bit of sense, I suppose. So cards close to the chest. Maybe there will be some discussions behind the scenes about getting rid of Harry Maguire and whether or not a team will come in for a transfer for him and be interested in paying a fee. If I was Ten Hag, I'd absolutely look to get rid of him because that's money wasted in the team and it's actually a place wasted in the team. In my opinion, he's not good enough. So why even have him around? You might as well try and just cut your losses now. Cash in. Yeah, we did pay 80 mil for the guy and it's a big, big loss. It's just a bad move, bad decision. You can't just keep going with your decision just because you spunked 80 mil on it. You've got to cash out at some point. So absolutely think time to cash out on Harry Maguire. Send him away, and hopefully we can sign a couple of good defenders this summer. Somebody like Pau Torres, somebody like Jurrien Timber would be perfect for us for what we're trying to do. We've got a great player who's got the physicality, is versatile, can play right back, centre back, and is young and quick, and that is Jurrien Timber. And then you've got somebody else, Pau Torres, who's a young, hungry player, also stepping up, also the right sort of age, but has had a really good couple of seasons and is developing really well. So, and is a great centre-back, I think. It's definitely better than Harry Maguire. So there you go. But that's not hard. Josh Lee says, Pig, have you heard that Rashford has been moaning about Elanga getting more game time than him? I mean, I haven't heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me. But it's been deserved. I don't think Rashford could really have a problem with not playing recently for Rangnick because he's been crap. Sing Game says the slab will still be here in 5 years' time. Mark my words. Oh no. Right, let's have a vote in the live chat, guys. Get your opinions in. Will Harry Maguire start the new season at Manchester United? Yes or no? Will Harry Maguire be here post-summer? Yes or no? Will he start the next season? Let us know what you guys are thinking. I'm going to say no. You know why? Because who in their right mind would want to keep hold of that guy? If Ten Hag does want to keep hold of him, then there's something not quite right with Ten Hag. That's my belief. If you actually watch United this season, Maguire's been so bad. So there must be something wrong with Ten Hag if he wants to keep Maguire. Surely he's got to want to get rid of the twat. Nav says, unfortunately, yes. Nut says yes. Kingslayer says yes. T-Mill says yes. Yes, but he won't be captain. Well, at the very least, that should be the case as well. Yeah, great shout, Josh. Yes, says William. No, it will not let it happen, says Enor. No, says Wrestle Kurt. Most people saying yes. Will they be able to get money for this guy? If there's a suitable offer in, they will probably sell. But the chances are there won't be an offer coming in for the guy because he's absolutely crap. Guys, everyone, we got 100 likes on the stream. Come on, thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up button. Let's see if we can get 150 likes on this stream. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do. And also subscribe if you're new. Get in the chat with your thoughts. Okay, so let's have a look at this, right? Another update coming through here from Matty Rushmano. This one's from Fabrizio. It just says, official confirmed, Endrick signs his first professional deal with Palmeiras, valid until 25. Oh, okay, and a bunch of European clubs already working to sign him. Supposedly there's some interest there from Manchester United as well. Interesting one. Another link there then. Nice, right, let me get into the rest of the news, guys. So just a quick breakdown if you're just getting in here. United and Villarreal are understood to be negotiating a deal for Pau Torres and have been over the last couple of weeks. It's understood that they're looking for around about 50 million euros for Pau Torres, and it's believed United would be prepared to pay that for him. So some positive reports coming out from Spain. Not too much of an advanced stage here, but negotiations taking place, and it seems like they wouldn't be asking for too much money. And it's understood Erik ten Hag's very interested in this guy, and that Manchester United would be looking to talk to his agent. It's reported that Pau Torres' agent plans to travel to Manchester United this week to negotiate with Manchester United over a potential contract for Torres. So that's positive stuff, guys. If we can get maybe Pau Torres in, that's another centre-back option. I think Jurrien Timber seems like a formality, so that'd be a good statement right there. A good statement. And as we were just talking about Harry Maguire and what he said earlier, maybe behind the scenes, what he said earlier is not really the case, and that if it was possible to make part ways with Harry Maguire, he would be up for doing so. Let's hope that that is the case, because I really don't think that we could stomach another season with Harry Maguire at the club. But there you go. But he has given his verdict on the captaincy and essentially backed him by saying that, next season, a new season, Harry Maguire's a good player and he's had a good enough season and all the rest of it, all load of bollocks, basically. So we know that that's not true. We know Harry Maguire's a pigging liability and a complete shambles merchant at the back. So surely this is just diplomacy from Erik ten Hag. Otherwise, he's off his tree, lad. So yeah, there you go, guys. Maguire, hopefully, maybe this indicates that we're trying to get replacements. Maybe Maguire will be, at the very least, stripped of the captaincy and demoted to a squad player, and we can have a good sale of a lot of the other centre-backs to just clear out the centre-back positions, and essentially Maguire would become the new Phil Jones. So if we can get rid of Phil Jones, see you later on, terminate the contract or get him gone to some other club somehow, and then you can get rid of Bailly, Lindelof, maybe these guys, clear spaces at the back for new centre-back signings, but still maybe even if you can't get rid of Harry Maguire, use him as a squad player, use him as a backup, use him as the new pink boots, Phil Jones, basically. That's all I see envisioned in the future for Harry. If Harry's starting in Manchester United's lineup next season, I just cannot see myself see ourselves doing well this season if Harry Maguire's still at the back, because he's too injury prone and error prone, I should say. He's an error prone mate. Wish he was injury prone. Anyway, so positive stuff. And also in regards to Jurrien Timber, guys, reports that agents for the Ajax defender Jurrien Timber are in England at this moment in time having talks, and Manchester United are front runners obviously to sign this guy. So his agents are in England to discuss the move with Manchester United. He's developed really well under Ten Hag, of course. He's played a lot of games for Ajax now. He's got the Champions League experience of the last season. He's hopefully going to make the switch to United. So, we got an update from Jonathan Schrager yesterday, which said that at this moment, Timber to Manchester United is not done, and that there is competitions from other clubs. But Jurrien's representation is currently, in England to learn about Man United's plans and make negotiations, have discussions. So, and he also tweeted a bit later on and said that there's a belief that United are currently the front runners to sign him, which obviously is the case, guys, because of Ten Hag, because of that we are a huge club, and that Ajax is, although they got the Champions League football, let's face it, United is a much bigger club. We can pay more money. It'd be a great move for Jurrien Timber to progress throughout his career. So, of course, that is the most likely outcome, and I'd be so shocked if we don't sign Jurrien Timber. I think Jurrien Timber's pretty much a formality. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think United are going to sign Jurrien Timber this summer. Smash a 2 in the live chat if you do not think that we will end up with him. Let me know what you guys are saying. Well, there is Pau Torres links. Are we going to sign 2 centre-backs? That's the question. But Timber seems like that's the one that's done mostly, mostly. Berber says 1. Classical Gashings, Vuti, Lambretta, Kingslayer, JR, Batman Knife fan. Sham doesn't think so. Eyeball, Paul, Wrestlekurt, Hamza Patel, they all think so. Big Guy doesn't think so, not having any of it. Minor Leslie says, if you don't know who he is, I mean, okay, fair enough. If you don't know who he is, well, Ten Hag certainly knows who he is. Ten Hag obviously is understood to have that interest in him. We actually saw some comments from Ten Hag when he was speaking to Mike Verwey over in the Netherlands about the situation. He said some things such as, everybody knows Jurrien Timber's quality in that there'll be a host of clubs that are interested in him. So he basically suggested that, it's more or less a formality that Jurrien Timber will be leaving Ajax in the summer. So probably United is going to be the most likely destination as well, which is great. Interesting. A report has just come out this evening as well that Gareth Bale's agent offered his services to Atletico Madrid, who rejected him. Imagine if he'd have just done the ultimate shithousery, just gone and signed for Atletico. That'd be class. Anyway, okay, so great stuff. So Jurrien Timber, his representation is currently in England, discussing the possibility of signing for various clubs, but it's seemingly Manchester United. But it's not done at this moment in time, of course, but we are the front runners to sign in. That is the latest in regards to Jurrien Timber. Come on! Positive stuff. Also, Manchester United confirm exit of striker Eddie Cavani. You've probably heard this anyway, but by the way, he made 59 appearances for the club, including 41 in the Premier League, scoring 17 goals across all competitions, most of which was last season. His second season, obviously, has been marred by a whole bunch of injuries. It's not been a good spell for him at all. But last season was great. You know, good luck to Edinson. He's going more likely to Spain. The reports of various clubs are interested in him over there, and he's looking to play in La Liga. So Cavani has gone, and he went like this to the fucking Palace Scummers as well on the way. Mate, come on, let's get some finger up emoji in there for Eddie Cavani. He's not only El Matador now, I think we should start calling him El Finger. You know what I mean? El Finger. I don't know, but fair play to him. He was good for us last year. He just outstayed his welcome probably a year, to be fair, guys. You know, it's time for him to go now, really. It's time for him to go. He's just too injury prone. Yeah, and he has gone. So Man United confirm that he's gone. El Finger says it all. El Mercenario says Burbo. Fair enough, he is a bit of a mercenary, but he was a good mercenary for us last year, you know, he really was. So I would have thought of his spell at the club somewhat like, you know, Zlatan's spell. Obviously nowhere near as good as Zlatan, because Zlatan was just a menace that season. By the way, Zlatan doing absolute bitch. AC Milan winning their first Serie A title for 11 years, I think it is. Fucking Zlatan Ibrahimovic, my friends. What an absolute goat. But anyway, there you go. Great to see. But yeah, Cavani, if he'd have just stayed here for a year, it would have been a very fond memory. As it is, he's just outstayed his welcome at extra season, unfortunately. But there you go. Rio Ferdinand's been speaking, guys, in other news, and thinks that United should try and go and get Max Aarons. And he also played down fears of defensive target Jurrien Timber's lack of height as well. So, you know, this is basically what he said. He said they may not be straight starters immediately, but they go and they stay there for 10 years and have a really good career, and they impact the club at different levels. He continued, I think the way Ten Hag's playing, looking at it, it's like we're going to be the team that's the aggressor. We're going to be the team that dictates and dominates the games. So he's looking to play on the halfway line. He isn't looking to play in a deep block, so he's not thinking about Timber's height. One thing he'll have to think about is the physical element in the Premier League is very different to what he's seen in Holland. So defending crosses, you could be 5'10". We saw Patrice Evra as 5'3". 5'3", probably, but it was one of the best headers of the ball. Was he actually one of the best headers of the ball when we were doing defensive set pieces? And he was a threat in the opposition box as well. So it can be done, but whether he's the guy, time will tell. So, you know, if we are not looking to play a low block, which it seems like we're not looking to do, Ten Hag's wanting to play high up, halfway line, then surely, you know, people like Harry Maguire are not going to be the guys. You need people with a bit more pace. So Harry Maguire's, that's why I think, yes, Ten Hag did say those comments about sort of backing Harry Maguire earlier on. But that's why I think that that's just diplomacy, and actually behind the scenes, he's trying to sell the guy. That's what I think, because if I was Ten Hag, that's what I'd be trying to do, based on what Maguire's done this year, and based on how much he's worth, and how much wages he's paid, and the place he takes up in the squad, and the armband that he's got, and letting down. Based on all those things, I would get rid of the guy. So, yeah, if we are going to play a more high-up side, a more attacking style, a more in-your-face aggressive style, Harry Maguire's got to go. But he thinks, Rio thinks we should go and maybe get Max Aarons. I think Aarons would be a good signing, actually. I mean, he's a young, decent player. He's still young, 22. Played 34 times in the past season. They're getting relegated. So, as an option, if you're going to maybe do some business to get rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and sell him back to Crystal Palace, or maybe look to offload Dallo as well, then, you know, maybe bringing in Timber and Aarons does actually make a heck of a lot of sense. So I think Rio onto something there possibly. But there are some other wing backs that have been linked with us as well. So there you go. Dutch Christ says some small people can jump really high, man. Absolutely, mate. Listen, you know, wow, how tall is Timber? I don't even think he's that short, is he? What's he? Did we say he was 1 meter 79, right? Okay, fair enough. How much is that in feet? That's 5'8". That's pretty fucking short, mate. If that's what he actually is. But you know what? You know, that's, as we've said, he can be used as a versatile player. He can play in a wing-back position where the height is just not an issue. You know, Luke Shaw's about 5'8", or, you know, it's not an issue. Patrice Evra is tiny. In fact, most of the best wing-backs we've had over the years, most of the best wing-backs ever are not tall, big lads. They're all pretty small. I'm not saying he's a wing-back. We're signing him to, I think, be a centre-back, but he's versatile where he can play there and develop as well. So yeah, great shout. I mean, he's obviously not the tallest, not the most physical, but Rio doesn't think necessarily that'll be such a big problem if we're playing a high up aggressive style. So I'd like to think that's true. Putting him in a stretch machine, says Fire Up. And also, maybe he's still got a little bit of growing to do. He's only 20. When does the human body stop growing? I seem to remember some of my friends still growing at about 20, mate. Add an extra inch on or something. So, Dennis Irwin's a great shout, Solskjaer. Patrice Evra. Gary Neville's not a tall lad. Maybe he was, like 5'11", maybe 6 foot at most. Probably not, actually. Probably 5'11". And then you've also got, you know, the De Silva twins. They were tiny. The De Silva twins were quite short, 5'9", maybe 5'8", somewhere 5'7". I don't even know. They were quite short. Roberto Carlos, 5'7". Just saying. Right. Our Gary was a nipper too, says Solskjaer. Yeah, he wasn't. That's it. He wasn't very big either, was he? He was about 5'10" or 5'11". So, yeah, you're right. Luke Shaw is 6 foot, pig. How many more crop in time, says Dutch Christ. Luke Shaw's not 6 foot, mate. No fucking way. Luke Shaw's a tiny human being. Luke Shaw height, he's like 5'10". He's not. He's no way is he 6 foot, mate. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at his height. 1 meter 85. 1 meter 85. Weird. Apparently he's 6 foot. That doesn't make sense to me. He looks a lot shorter than that. Maybe it's because he's a little bit, you know, maybe it just sort of extrapolated the size a little bit that way, so it makes him look a little bit, you know. But it says he's 6 foot on Google, but I think that's wrong. I personally think that's wrong because he doesn't look 6 foot to me, mate. No fucking way. Shaw is 6'1", says the special one. That does not sound right. That does not sound right to me, mate. You reckon Piggy's 6'4"? I'm 6'2", George M. myself, mate. 6'2". Yeah, I mean, Luke Shaw does not sound right to be 6'1". That's crazy. Maybe he is, but because he's a little bit meaty, because he likes a Frey Bentos pie, maybe he doesn't look as tall and lean as other players do. But yeah, that seems deceptive. He's a deceptive 6 foot if he's 6 foot. I tell you that. That is a surprise. Big Bear says FIFA says Shaw is 5'11". Surely that's the maximum he is. Yeah, FIFA says he's 5'11". Then again, FIFA gets things wrong because Rio Ferdinand, it says FIFA on FIFA, it says Rio's 6'2", but I've met Rio and I'm 6'2", and Rio was a little bit bigger than me. So I reckon FIFA might be wrong also. You know what I mean? So personally think Rio's more like 6'3", if I had to say. I mean, I'd say Rio's more like 6'3". Anyway, okay, maybe 6'4" even. He was quite a big lad. So Shaw could potentially become really good, says Bubbles. He's actually still young, isn't he? So he's been around what seems like forever. Let's have a look at Luke Shaw's career at Manchester United very quickly. Just, you know, he's played a lot of games for Manchester United. He's still only 26 years of age, but it seems like he's been around forever. So he's coming into the best years of his career. Yeah, I mean, he's not somebody that I think United should look to throw away right now. He's still got a good job to do in the squad. I just think we should look to maybe sell Telles and bring in another wing back potentially to challenge Shaw and keep him honest. But actually, Shaw is a good player, and he's played a lot of games for Manchester United over the years, you know. He had a fantastic season for us last year. Just the reality is, this year he was pathetic, but so were a lot of the team. Bruno Fernandes, you know, loads of great players who were supposed to be good, underperformed. Luke Shaw was a menace for us last year. He was just terrible for us this year. I'm thinking he could get back on track under Ten Hag. I'm hoping so anyway. Right, we've got a bit more news coming out, guys, from Germany here. That Serge Gnabry will not extend his contract at Bayern Munich. So the question is whether he is sold this summer or he leaves on a free next year. So Serge Gnabry is a player that could be maybe available this summer. I personally think he would be a very good signing I personally think he would. But then again, we don't really need... I mean, we've got Sancho, we've got Rashford, we've got Lingard, we've got Diallo, we've got Anthony maybe on the shortlist as well. Like, we can't have all loads of these forward winger players coming in, man, really. But we could do a lot worse. He's a good player, could do a lot worse. Okay, so reports coming out that Lewandowski, Bayern have received a written offer from Barcelona last week, which is in the region of 32 million euros plus 5 million euros bonus payments. Also due, and Bild have reported that bosses have not answered this yet. Lua has had 2 video calls with Xavi. He told him about his project, that he needs him as a Real number 9. So this is from Florian Plettenberg from Sky in Germany, who reports that Lewandowski's been in contact with Xavi, that Barca have offered 32 plus 5 million in bonuses for him, million euros, and that's been reported, and that they haven't received an official answer back yet. So it seems like there's definitely strong interest there, obviously, to sign him. If they do sign him, they might have to recoup and sell elsewhere, which is why De Jong is being linked heavily with a move away to us. But as we reported earlier, PSG supposedly sniffing around De Jong, and maybe De Jong, because of the amount of money he could get there, and also the fact they've got Champions League football, maybe would be more interested in going there. But the Ten Hag situation as it is means that we've definitely got a chance. So there's lots of legs left in the De Jong situation as well. If you want an update on that, that's basically just 50-50, probably more likely that we don't get him, I would say, but still a strong possibility, of course, that Ten Hag wants to make him his man in midfield. Interesting. So we have a source, Mark Ogden, reporting that on Richard Arnold, by the way, that he's different to Ed Woodward. He said that we never saw Ed, but Richard will eat with the staff of the canteen at Old Trafford. There's a real mood now that the guy in charge has an idea of what he wants to do and how we'll execute it. So I'm hoping that we actually have better management in the hierarchy here as well, because that's been important. Ed Woodward's been an absolute bloody parasite for this football club, doing terrible things for us, making bad decisions, signing bad players, having way too much freedoms and football power and decision-making power for the Glazers, basically down to a financial situation. And that's what he was brought in for, to be a wanky fucking banker for the Glazers and look at the bottom line and protect and make them money. So he's not really been making key football decisions well. So now hopefully a new era, not just with players coming in and players going out and new staff, etc., and a new manager, not just a new era there, but hopefully upstairs, hopefully behind the scenes, hopefully Rangnick does have some say in a consultancy role. Because as bad as Rangnick has been, I think, in actually getting the best out of this squad, which I don't think anybody can praise him for that, really, he is hopefully going to do some stuff behind the scenes. Then again, we don't know what his input is actually going to be. But hopefully we know we get some people behind the scenes as well that can help lead this football club forward, because that's been a big problem area for us. As bad as we've been on the pitch, as bad as the players are, I think they've been even worse behind the scenes from a boardroom upstairs, hierarchy, football roles within the club point of view. We've been even worse. Right, just getting on a couple of other things. Hey, thank you. Hey, OP Dragon, how you doing, bro? Yes, mate, great to see you in here. Benedict Kangarususaru says, I would take Gnabry over Rashford. Definitely, Benedict, based on this season anyway. Look, to me, Rashford deserves a chance. We've gone about this. I know Rashford's a very polarising figure at the moment. Hasn't he just won a book award? Rashford wins top prize at British Book Awards, by the way. English footballer Marcus Rashford has claimed Book of the Year at the British Book Awards for his non-fiction debut. You Are a Champion, an inspirational guide for young people, was chosen from the 12 individual category winners during the ceremony. So Rashford's actually won something this year then, guys. It just so happens to be a fucking Piggin Book Award, guys. He needs to get his head in the game, mate. That's what I would say about Rashford. I like Rashford. I think he's a nice guy off the pitch. He's trying to do positive things. But he does need to get his head in the game. He's got too many irons and too many fires, it seems. Getting political, writing kids' books, authoring books and all this sort. It's nonsense. Focus on the fucking game. Focus on being a great player first. He's only 23, 24 for Pete's sake. He hasn't achieved nought in the game yet, really. We should be, it's all well and good writing inspirational guides for kids and winning Book of the Year. That's brilliant. But at the same time, how's about actually being an inspiration on the pitch for us? There you go. So, yeah, that's good that he's won an award, but it doesn't impress me much, guys, in terms of being a Manchester United player. What would impress me is if he gets himself back on track, is if Ten Hag can revitalise him, bring him back. And I'm prepared to find out. I'm at least prepared to give it till January. What's the worst that happens? Well, his asset depreciates because of his bad performances further under Ten Hag and we sell him. We lost a bit more money. I guess that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is maybe Ten Hag can replenish him, revitalise him, get him back to being the Marcus Rashford that he was previous seasons. Because, I won't hear that Rashford's been bad for a long time. He's just been bad this whole season. But last season, he had injuries and stuff, and he was still pretty damn effective. The season before, he's fantastic. He's developed reasonably well up until this season, where it's all gone to pot. So, yeah, he's going to have to change his ways. He's going to have to show that he is a good player. Otherwise, it's time to go. It's time to go. But I still think he deserves the chance from Ten Hag to try and do that. Plus, he is, a local lad. He's obviously come through the system, and that's important. We should try and give somebody a chance there. What I'm not saying is we don't just stick blindly by somebody and allow them to become another Welbeck, another Lingard, or one of these sort of homegrown players that is just not really good enough, and we're just playing them just because they're homegrown or just because they're an academy product. That's not what it's about. It should be, you have to be good enough, and unfortunately Rashford was not good enough this season. If he continues in that vein next year, it's going to be Rashford out, guys, absolutely. But I'm prepared to give him a chance. Rashford in or Rashford out, guys? What are you guys saying? Okay, nice one. Thank you, Rushman. We've got a little bit of news, latest reports coming through here on Pau Torres. Marcus Bookford says fire up. Minor Leslie says no plan B at Real Madrid. The snub was a man not keeping his word and being influenced by those around him. Nobody gives a shit about Real, lad. Out says Josh Lee, out says Jay King, out says Vincent, in says Chrissy, in says Alec Brandon, in says Solskjaer, out says Sing Games, Big Bear says out, Josh Lee says out, Timo says Rashi in, Rashi one more season says Rashi, out says Kevin, out says Eyeball Paul. Okay, so most of you voting Rashford out. Fair enough. He has had a stinker of a year. I'm prepared to give him one last chance under Ten Hag and have this guy hopefully come back to what he was. Like I have been impressed by Rashford up until this season. I really have been. He's done some good things for Manchester United over the years. He really has. But not this season, of course. He's been absolutely the worst player. Yeah. He's right up there with. I'd say he's been the worst player, the most disappointing player this season for us. Probably Marcus Rashford. If not him, Harry Maguire's right up there as well. Bruno Fernandes has been very disappointed by his high standards. Pogba stands out as being a disappointment. Luke Shaw has been dreary considering how good he was last year as well. So those are all candidates. But I do think that Rashford's probably been the worst player for us based on expectation, based on what they've done previously. He's gone from being an absolute hero to being an absolute zero. So yeah, he's got to change his ways, and I think he just deserves a chance though. But there you go. Okay. So reports that West Ham United have lodged a bid for attacker Jesse Lingard as well. So maybe in discussions now with 29-year-old Jesse, set to become available very, very soon as a free agent when his contract ends at Manchester United. And reports coming out that the West Ham are in pole position to sign this guy and bring him back to the city of, or to the London Stadium. Lingard scored 9 goals in just 16 Premier League appearances on loan at West Ham during the second half of last season, of course. Very impressive. More than he has scored in the last 3 seasons at Manchester United combined. So if that doesn't tell you a story, then I don't know what does. He's got to leave. He's got to go and play for West Ham for a betterment of his own career and for the betterment of our squad, because he's actually bang average. And he's proven he's had plenty of chances, plenty of years of it. Yeah, Rashford's had a bad season. This guy's had multiple bad seasons, really. So if Rashford have another bad season, I'll be Rashford out as well. Just like I'm Lingy out, because you can't afford any passengers at this football club. Anyway, Jesse Lingard, see you later on, son. You're gash. Also, right, Kate, guys, we got reports coming out from Germany as well. Florian Plettenberg again reporting that Mane over at Liverpool, that FC Bayern are in talks with the player and his management, and that the next couple of weeks are going to be decisive. Nagelsmann and Brazo want to bring in Mane. Transfer fee probably less than 50 million euros. So I wonder what that could affect Liverpool. Obviously, you look at who they're bringing in, though. I mean, they've got Luis Diaz and stuff. I mean, they've made some good signings recently. I don't know if Mane would leave Liverpool, but there are reports now coming out from Germany that they are strongly interested in trying to bring Mane in over at Bayern Munich. So very interesting. I would like to think that could happen. But they have just obviously got other good players too, and, it's not going to affect them that negatively. I don't think, because Mane's getting on anyway. I mean, actually, he's still a great player for a couple of seasons, But he's 30 now. I mean, if they wanted to get big money for him, big money to sell, I guess that would be the last time. I don't think they're going to want to sell Mane anytime soon, though, mate. Right. 0793, how are you doing tonight, my friend? Do us a favor, guys. Drop a thumbs up. I'm going to get into a Q&A in a minute, but drop a little like on the vid. Share it around. Smash the subscribe. And get your thoughts and opinions in real quick while I just cover the last couple of little topics I want to say, and then we'll have a Q&A. So, Frankie de Jong situation, they value him at somewhere around about 80 million euros, which is way too much money for United. That's where that could fall down on, as well as United not having Champions League football, and now PSG sniffing around de Jong also. Just back onto Sadio, it's understood that Sadio Mane would see himself going to Bayern Munich and that he'd have some interest in going. But the operation, basically it would cost around about 50 million and could happen in the next couple of weeks. So that's from that report in Germany. So I like what Erik Ten Hag said earlier on, guys, about Klopp and Pep. He said, Ten Hag in this moment, I admire them both. They play fantastic football, but you'll always see an era come to an end. I look forward to battle with them, and I'm sure other clubs will want to do that. So, he wants to put an era to the end. He wants to knock them right off their fucking perch right now once again, hopefully. So hopefully Ten Hag could be the man to knock them off their perch again, my friends. Okay. Yes, I have the Cake Cadet. Absolutely, I have. Okay. Also, hey, we got a new tweet this evening from Fred Rodriguez. This afternoon, who said that he said Man United is big and we have to be the right place as soon as possible. Thanks to the fans for all your support. It will always be for you. Is somebody in United's PR department just working overtime there, just tweeting out tweets for everyone? It's what it seems like, guys. Just fucking shut up. I've had enough of everybody now just talking at United and just saying, oh, it's for you. The fans are amazing, sticking back through and through us, even though we've been shit and don't deserve the support from the fan. I don't want to hear it, guys. I don't want to hear from these wankers, to be honest. I just want to hear, and no disrespect, I like Fred. He's a nice guy. He's a super nice guy, so I'm not calling him a wanker, but you know what I mean? They just shut up. Just shut up now. Let's just end this turn of a season. We don't want to hear from you on social media. Bury your head in the sand. That's what you should be doing. You should be burying your head in the bloody sand now. In embarrassment, pure embarrassment with how this season has gone. So, there you go. These tweets are a joke, Malps. I agree, mate. It's so pathetic, isn't it? I just don't like it. And that Harry Maguire one earlier is one of the worst. Just quickly, guys, Christian Eriksen update. Where is it? Here it is. So Fab Update a few hours ago said that Christian Eriksen has been approached by 3 Premier League clubs, but Brentford will open talks with his agent to make a proposal. We heard from Thomas Frank the other day that he said that he thinks that, Christian Eriksen could well sign another deal at Brentford. That's what he's hoping for. Unless a bigger, more significant offer comes in for Eriksen, he probably will sign for Brentford again. But Manchester United, I think, should absolutely be going in there to sign this guy because, he's got the Premier League experience. He's only 30. He's a quality player. He's somebody that could replace the likes of Lingard and Mata in the team, Pogba as well, some of the players that can play in advanced positions. Well, we need somebody to come in and help those advanced positions where we've lost players. Eriksen makes a lot of sense. He can also challenge Bruno Fernandes to a starting spot in the hole, maybe, If you're talking about actual quality players, hey, it's never a bad idea to have competition. It's never a bad idea to have more quality players. Look at the likes of City and how much depth they've got. I think depth is good. Yeah, okay, Jack Grealish is not doing great, not playing every single week, every single game, minute, whatever, but they've always got that depth and quality there. They paid £100 million for a fucking backup, essentially. Man United need to get more quality players throughout the depth of the squad. And so I think Christian Eriksen would be an excellent signing for us. I hope that we are one of the 3 clubs that is in talks with his agent and that we are looking to make a proposal. I think it'd be foolish to let a free transfer like this pass us by. Just like I think it was foolish for us to allow Boubacar Kamara to sign for Aston Villa earlier on today on a free, because that guy's worth nothing. Sorry, he's cost nothing, but he's worth a lot more now to Villa. He's worth instantly, God knows how much he's instantly worth now. But he's 22. He's an appreciating asset. He'll only be getting better over the next 5 years. He'll probably increase in asset value massively. He'll increase in qualities and abilities, and they'll probably have got themselves a good free player there. Free, guys, free. Yeah, there's a signing on fee. Yeah, there's weekly wages. So there is with non-free players as well. So definitely a good signing for them. I think we should not miss out on getting this guy in, Christian Eriksen. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think we should sign Christian Eriksen. Smash a 2 if you don't think we should. Rush Mano says we got 142 likes. Nice one. We're close to 150, bebe. Owen Thorne says, is there a FIFA stream tonight? Does David Moyes shit in the woods? The Glazers didn't want to pay £6 million for Zachariah in January, I know. Or that Luis Alvarez guy just allowed him free passage to Manchester City, lad. We are a disgrace, mate. Honestly, the Glazers are an absolute disgrace, yeah. Lots of 1s coming in the live chat, a few 2s as well. Maybe people put off by his health concerns, maybe his age, but you know what? He's only 30. It's not ancient these days in the Prem at all. You need experience. And also, he's got it. He's got it in the Prem. He's got it on an international stage. He's got it to a big level in Italy as well. He's got it to a good standard. He's a quality player. Set piece wise, he's great. Creative wise, he's great. Yes to Eriksen, I say. But lots of 2s coming in there. Lots of people saying no. Yes to Eriksen, says Batman. You take him, says Jonathan Gallagher. Lee says rather not sign him. Could have a heart attack, says Liam UFC. Well, yes, but he's also played the last few months for Brentford. No worries at all. You know, so maybe so, but he's probably being monitored ridiculously stringently, and they'll be checking him up all the time, making sure he's okay. He's been fitted with something in his heart as well, which I think can help regulate his heart rate if ever he was to have a heart attack, something like that, similar to a pacemaker, but not a pacemaker, like a heart starter thing or something. I don't know. Look, of course, there's always that worry and that concern, but if it's a short-term deal, yeah, just like Jay King says, give him a 2-year contract. If it's a short-term deal, then what's the risk, really? There's not that much risk. I mean, we spent more money paying the likes of fucking Phil Jones to sit on the bench and make a cup of tea at half-time over the last few years than that, you know, I think. So yeah, it's no risk for us to go and sign Eriksen. I think it'd be a good addition to the squad. Definitely a good addition to the squad. Okay. Yep, latest on Torres then. So the Torres situation is they're looking to, they're looking to cash in Villarreal. They're looking to get 50 million euros for him, and they believe that Man United will pay it. Well, I'm going to get into the live chat, guys. So just a rundown. Villarreal negotiating with Man United over Pau Torres for weeks. Villarreal want, understandably, about 50 million euros and believe United will pay it. And his agent is plans to travel. Pau Torres' agent planned to travel to Manchester this week to negotiate with Manchester United over a potential contract for Pau Torres. So can we agree any sort of personal terms? Is this really going to be, Ten Hag's plan to try and sign him as well as Timber? He's going to have to sell centre-backs if that's going to be the case. Hopefully he is. Of course, he made comments about Maguire and how good he is and backing him earlier on. Maybe it's just protecting his asset. He's actually trying to sell Maguire. That's what I hope. So there you go, guys. Let's get in there. Ten Hag's already been pictured meeting with youth players as well. So he's already trying to, he's already assessing everything. He's already setting himself in there, bedding in. Rashford's won a book prize and a book award for the best book of the year or some bullshit. Don't care, to be honest. Pau Torres and Jurrien Timber are 2 players currently on Manchester United's list for centre-back, guys. Let's talk about it. Everybody get in the live chat. Do us a favour. Drop the like on the video. Hit that subscribe. Have your say now. Q&A time. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes more. We are going to have to end it in about 5 minutes because I've got to get on for FIFA in a bit. No new Greenwood updates, Abba Latif Sharif. No new Greenwood updates at all, mate. No. I'd love to tell you that there's been some revelations. There's not. We know that Greater Manchester Police asked for extra time in order to sort of, do investigations for this case. So we're just waiting to hear more about that one, bro. Yeah, Steve McGregor says, loving the noise Ten Hag is making. Me too, all apart from that Harry Maguire noise. Congratulations, Rashford, says William Reedy. Yeah, to be fair, congrats to him. He's won a book award, but it doesn't help Manchester United, does it? Too many fingers in too many different pies off the field is not good. I like players who are one-dimensional in the sense that they're focused on Manchester United. They're focused on United. That's what they care about. That's what they're interested in. And they've got other activities. Of course, everybody's got vocations and everybody's got hobbies, I should say. But their main focus should be Manchester United, of course. Merrick says, I'm starting to hate Greenwood now. Well, why are you just starting to? But no, fair enough. No to Rafinha and Dybala. I mean, Rafinha's not a bad player. We could definitely do a lot worse than Rafinha. But with Leeds not going down, I personally don't think he would go. I mean, he's definitely got passion. Did you see him doing that thing when he's like walking on his knees for the whole of the Brentford Community Stadium? Just walks across the whole pitch on his knees. Apparently that's some sort of Brazilian thing that you do when you've had a wish granted by God or something. So pretty cool. He seems like a passionate individual, you know. You can't... Passions, I like passion, guys. I'm all about passion, to be fair. Rashford has gone off script, says Madhouse. What kind of pies are their fingers in? I'm guessing Frey Bentos ones, to be fair, wouldn't really. Maybe pucker pies, actually, because they're a bit flash and got the money. Bubble says, if Greenwood is not guilty, highly unlikely, would you want him back to play for us? Well, listen, highly unlikely, like you say, I mean, listen, if it does turn out that he's 100% clear, who knows, look, everything was fabricated, the audio was fabricated, if it turns out proven that that's the case, then yeah, he would be an innocent man. You can't just completely, write somebody off if everything turned out to be fabricated. But I'm not saying that is the case, and my personal opinion is that's probably not the case. So, you know, we've heard audio, we've heard information, we've seen all we've seen. He's been arrested on suspicion of threats to kill and stuff like this. You know, his reputation has been severely tarnished, mate. So it would be very, very much a huge surprise if he ever plays for Man United again. I don't think he can. Unless, as I say, unless the crazy outcome is that it was all fabricated. That's the only way I could see him being allowed back in. And in which case he would deserve to be back in if it was all fabricated. But that's unlikely. Anyway, allegedly. Okay. Eriksen would bring back Cross into our team. He's a great creator, great passer. He would definitely help out with assists and creating chances. He's done very well for Brentford over the last few months. Piggy, did you hear Avram Glazer talking to Sky Sports? Unreal. It's on YouTube. Yes, absolutely. NAS786. I've seen some comments from him anyway. I haven't actually seen the video. Let me see. Where's these comments I saw earlier on this guy? But yes, I have seen that. It's just gone away from me now, his quotes, but I've got them somewhere. But yes, mate. Okay, anyway. MBE got in Rashford's head, so thinking he now needs to do more charity work than actually concentrating on winning with United, says Chrissy J. Would I take Lewandowski, Marius? Definitely. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. He's just got too much going on. Dutch Christ says Timber could also play right back, whereas Maguire can only play an actor pretending to be a footballer. Fergie never slammed even his worst players in public, so Erik Ten Hag will protect the slams during press conferences. But any player not good enough is soon out of a Ten Hag team. Respect there, Rushy. Yeah. Greenwood might have ruined his career even though it's just getting started. Definitely the only places really where it's likely he could play football would be, you know, I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East or wherever where they don't really give a shit that much about that sort of stuff. No disrespect to anyone. I'm just saying I personally think that would be the place to go, would be to go play somewhere where, you know, it's a little bit, you know. Anyway, Rob says, hi, Piggy, how many new players can you see coming in, mate? 5. I think 5 new signings, Rob. That's what we need anyway. Dan Tay says, did you hear about United apparently outsourcing for tactical advice to some dude at Lokomotiv Moscow? Delays to in-game management because advice was taking so long to get back. You what? Piggy gonna make some bacon, says Ricardo. Yes. That's a disgrace, mate. Utter disgrace. I can't believe that. What the fuck, mate? We're on the old phone to Lars Kornetka asking for fucking technical advice. What's that all about, bro? Mate, we have the best header of the ball in the world up front and we don't cross to him. It's fucking bizarre, says Caking it. That's it. Get those crosses going. Get Ronaldo on it. Just feed Ronaldo. We'd be all right. Which players were talking to Rebecca Vardy? Oh, I don't give a toss to be honest about any of that. Case I'm at Mahmood. Ten Hag handled the press conference well and hit his spliff quite well, says Lionel Leslie. Batman says MLS club suitable for Maguire. Yeah, Columbus Crew. Do you think signing with Varane was a mistake, says Ashwin? No, I don't. I think he'll be good. He's just injury prone. He's probably our best centre-back this season, which isn't saying much. United are gobbing off with tweets, etc. Hopefully exposing the leak star, says Dutch Christ. Probably only had a few toots, says Minor. Right, I'm going to leave it there. On that note, guys, we've got to end this stream. But we had 149 likes. Let's see if we can smash that 150. Everyone, before you go, drop a like. It helps us out. It gives us a boost up there on the YouTube algorithm. Please smash that like. Also, share it around and smash the subscribe if you're new. If you are new, click the little bell icon as well, so you get the notifications when we post and go live. Do give us a bell press. Wait, that sounded a bit wrong, but press that bell so you do get notified when we go live. Also, follow the website, unitedflyinghigh.com, for your latest Man United news. You can follow us up on social media as well. Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and the website is, as I say, unitedflyinghigh.com. I want to say thank you to all for watching. Abba Latif, FIFA Don, thank you, Rush Mano, thank you, Callum Malin. I am on FIFA in a little bit, mate. Jonathan, Minor, Alec Brandon, Merrick, Steve McGregor, Solskjaer, J King, Jonathan Dolby, Batman Night Fan, Chrissy J, Madhouse, El Professor, Rushy, Jonathan Gallic, everybody, all the mods, all the members, thank you for watching the show and supporting the channel. Really does mean a lot to me. Thank you very much for getting in here, having your say. Love hearing your thoughts and opinions. It doesn't have to end there. Please come back after it's finished and get your comments in the not live comment section, and we will give you all the latest rundown and the breaking news. What I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks and generally over the summer of the transfer window is getting a minimum of 2 United videos out a day. I personally think there's going to be a lot of transfer goings on in the next few weeks, particularly up until obviously the window opens on the 1st of July. So we will cover it all on this channel. So we'll probably do an afternoon video every day around about 3 or 4, and then an evening video every day around about 9 or 10, you know, giving you all the latest evening's news and any breaking news, etc. So that's the plan, guys. Make sure you keep a lookout for that sort of schedule. We'll be back at it tomorrow afternoon. Takashi as well, get in there, my son. Catch you on FIFA soon, dude, and everybody else as well. That's it from me. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching. Come back and comment your thoughts and opinions about anything we've discussed. Drop a like and all that before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow with more United news. But I'll see you in about half an hour for some FIFA action. So don't go anywhere, and I'll be back very soon smashing up fools. See you later, guys, and come on, United! See